At the same time, you should tell that you need that and count the forward out.
Yep, I agree. No, I agree. Good morning.
Hey,
How's it going?
coming along.
All right. Are you working with Kevin?
Sort of and sort of not. So I'm helping him wherever he needs questions, but I'm kind of going on a different path and working on
Other
things.
tasks.
Yeah.
Okay. Is it to the point where they are getting a byte stream coming up out of the RTMP server? Where exactly is it at?
I don't know, you gotta ask Kevin.
Okay, because this morning he appeared to be stuck on.
He was having trouble getting the RTMP URL for on-the-go mode in there, which is really kind of the same as the not on-the-go version. It's just that you send it, instead of sending it across Bluetooth, you send it across the login session that you have. Yeah. So I think he's currently putting that in right now.
Okay.
But it's a matter of, well, it's the same kind of issue that I was having on Friday, which is you can create a server, but getting the camera to actually connect to it is tricky. There's a lot of things you gotta set up in the right order on the camera before it even attempts to make a connection to you.
Okay. Actually, let me see one second. No, exactly. It's not the best, right?
The tricky thing about working in Singapore is that they tend to call a ton of meetings, and it's like every day it's like you're sitting in a meeting for an hour in the morning, an hour in the evening, and you're like, if I just had this time, I could write a code.
No, it's what we already have is like there's a set up an hour and a half meeting in like 8 a.m. their time, and it's just gonna be Chris and I going to it because we're like, you guys probably could finish the app while we talk about it. So yeah. So that's why I'm going. Oh man, Kevin, we can do this. We've got it. I even so the big question they had, I don't know if you read through this graph, there's a million messages, was basically, great, the RTP server gives us a stream of bytes. How do I feed that to the AV player, right?
Right.
And so I found something and tested it where I opened a MP4 file as a data array, and I was able to feed that byte stream to the AV player with a special assay loader.
Okay.
So that code is already written where it's actually pretty interesting. You declare a AV item, AV asset, whatever it is. You get a junk URL, and then you say, oh, the asset loader delegate is this. And then every time iOS doesn't know how to load something, you can ask the delegate. And then that's where you stitch in your node as the RTMP server. If bytes great, pass them along. If not, we'll wait, and it doesn't have anything yet. Yeah, so I actually proved that all works. So like, as soon as that RTMP server is delivering bytes, it's a clear path, which is really exciting.
All right.
Yeah. So like every time, like I get really close on it. Like Android, like I don't know, maybe there's something else, and God knows what it's doing. But yeah, iOS is gonna be huge.
It's all one of those things where like as soon as you walk out the door, you're like watch it work close. Yeah, I never go to LA.
Oh wait, no.
Yeah, okay. Oh yes, same thing. Right after. Try again. Oh, you're reckless. Wait a second. Yeah, that's exactly right. Yeah.
I was trying to
It's good. Step up 380. 380 brick.
But time does not work.
This is okay. We got 5 more. Just set it in the box, actually, just set next to each one. That's a glue. Leave it there. Right there. Yeah. More or less. I got it. You got it?
Oh, really?
I'm getting ready to like thank you.
But I think it's because with this stuff.
Just like that.
It's not me. It's Alex and Marcus doing it too.
Greta, are you trying to kill people with cold stuff? Just like that.
because it's a very temporary thing, right? And it changes with every time, and that was the reason. And plus, it would load my service because one more server called to the synapse, and the duration I'm saving it, and then in the next when you're grabbing it and grabbing from the synapse, and like we have Google Drive or something, Gmail, okay, so if you log in from this laptop, okay, from another laptop also it supports the login, right? So camera should support login from multiple.
Right, but it's just from a user standpoint, it's kind of weird because you already have to log in to.
But internally, it's logging. How will user get to know? Like
No, but so the user doesn't actually know anything about logging into the camera.
Yeah.
From a user standpoint, that doesn't even exist.
Yeah.
So.
What does your camera identify itself as?
112.
So the user has to already log into the Utu app, right, using their Synapse credentials, right?
Yeah.
So if that's the case, you already authenticated that this is your account, therefore all the cameras on that account belong to you.
Yeah.
Then if you have a session open for a specific camera, it just makes sense to use that session already, right?
Yeah, so he will click on suppose 0112 as my camera, okay, from the other app, from another device, okay. So when he logs in, he will see a grayed version of all the record and all, as usual, okay, because it is in that phase, the session is not there. Till then, the service will go and try to log in again, right, because the service is always running every time. Only for some seconds, it will show the grayed version. Even if
so when you log in on one, it's going to invalidate the session on the other, though, right?
That's the problem. That shouldn't be. Like, does it happen in Google Drive or does it happen in any other website? You can log in, right? It does not. So if you log in.
No, but I'm saying, like, do we know that this is the way the camera works? Like, yeah, sure, Google works that way, but can we actually
But general
open
devices
sessions?
also, hardware also work in that way, right? They should correct this implementation.
Okay, yeah.
I mean, we can ask them, and if they say they cannot, then maybe we can go with this. Because why I'm doing this? Because we are saying sessions and all. Do we save in the server? Like it's a very temporary.
I understand, but it's like.
And that would definitely increase. So basically, the service in Android is already taking a lot of time, and as we are trying to decrease the time of the service.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Like that's precisely to my point. Is that if you use a session that already exists, you don't have to wait that whole turnaround time to log into the camera again.
Imagine the case what you're dealing with. Okay, like you have one camera at home, one phone. Okay, so this is very less case when you will have the other phone linked it and you're using both simultaneously.
No, I totally understand. It's an edge case. It is an edge case, but.
So for the edge case, you are increasing time of the service even for normal cases.
Huh? On the edge case, if you're already using an existing session, then you reduce the time because you don't have to worry about logging into the camera again. You log into the app on a different device, and you already can use your camera.
Right? This is the edge case. Two different devices.
Yeah.
And now let's talk about the same device.
Yeah.
Okay, so you take the session and you save it in a synapse. So that time period of saving it in a synapse.
No, but I mean, you're going to save it only at the time that you would save the rest of it in there, right? Oh, although you do have to, yeah, I see what you're saying. Like, you do have to send it, like, again whenever you log in.
Whenever you log in, you have to send it to the synapse.
But then you have to log in less frequently, so it's...
Last week? Sorry? You have to log in?
Okay, so you would have to send it every time you log in, but because it's already saved, you don't have to log in as frequently. You don't have to send that login request as frequently.
But we already have it in our app, right? We are grabbing it from the app. So
yeah.
The thing is, we have the session that we are taking from the app. It does not involve saving in the server.
This is what I'm saying. Yeah, that works great for when you're only on one phone.
Exactly. So this is the normal case, and getting another phone is the edge case, right?
Right.
So for working the edge case, we are increasing the time for the normal case. No, I mean we can definitely correct it, but my point is we can change it, no problem. But my problem is first we should ask the camera team because that is the most ideal behavior, right? That is how any website or anything works. And if they say no, then we can work because for everything we are doing the tweaks, we are doing the workaround, right?
I mean, it's fine. It's
And
just that.
let's teach them to say if they come that no, we can't do it, then yeah, we'll change it. And I think again, even if they come out with a no, still I think it's a very edge case.
No, it definitely is an edge case. I don't know. I just figured it would be faster if you don't have, just because the login takes so long. Like sign up, login, and retrieving the user info is very short amount of time compared to the camera login.
Yeah, but how is it going to affect if there is one phone and you're talking, let's forget about two phones. How is this going to reduce the time in one phone?
Oh, with one phone it doesn't really affect it because you already have the session saved locally.
Yeah.
But if you have a second phone, it reduces your amount of login time because you've already gone through the linking process. So
the process is still there. I mean, you have the camera, you can see the camera, you can see the stream. Only the thing is, for talking to the camera.
No, that's something like the remote control aspect of it, right? If you already have the session for remote control and you send it to another phone, then there you go. You don't have to log in. It's just that one call to log into the camera takes forever.
No, why I'm really like it's the service is actually creating a lot of problem in Android again. Because sometimes this issue is, I don't know if you would have found out, but you're trying to send multiple requests to the cameras, right? So sometimes you'll get 500 errors from the camera. Did you notice that?
Sometimes.
So I'm just worried because QoS will again, it's like saving to the synapse. If something goes wrong, like a network connection went wrong or something, and we could not save.
Oh, well then you would fall back, right? So if for some reason you can get the network session from Synapse, then you just put on the login. But you just go back to the
Yeah, but as many checks as we increase, that would increase the time for that service. And that service is like very fragile right now.
Although if the Synapse fails anyway, you wouldn't get the camera back, and so you'd have to manually add the camera anyway, right? Like if you made that call and it failed, and you couldn't see your camera that you logged into on a different device, you'd still have to go through the manual way of adding the camera.
Yeah, but what about if you are in the camera control page, all those things, and it failed at that time?
Oh well, you wouldn't get that far if it had failed.
Why?
If Synapse had failed.
Why?
Because you wouldn't see it. You'd have to manually add the camera. You wouldn't have the camera in the first place.
No. Let's say you added the camera, okay? You were working in the camera control page, you were recording, you were doing everything, okay? Till then, Synapse failed or the network connection failed through the internet, okay? So at that time, we are saving the session, right? It's going on every time, camera service.
Oh, okay, I see what you're saying, yeah.
You understand? Or if you are in camera.
But then you're also saving locally at the same time anyway, though, right?
Yeah, but locally it will not fail, right?
Right. So you're fine. If you're already using it, then you just get your stuff locally. I'm just talking about for the case where I have another phone, I'm logging into it for the first time, and I get my camera list, right? So I have like, let's say I have 3 different cameras already associated with my account. I log in with a separate phone, I get my camera list. Now I have to go and log in again every time I tap on each of those individual cameras because it doesn't have a session for it.
You log in as in the app logs in internally. Right?
Yeah. So right. So this is the first time I'm logging in on a different device. All the cameras that I see are only going to be the ones that are represented in Synapse, right?
Yeah, and
because I don't physically connect anything at that point.
Only problem there I see is like it will become great for some time, and after that it will again try to log in and it will get the session. It will work perfectly fine, but the other app will the behavior will not be the same because it will log out from you.
Right. Which is why
Which camera should correct? Which camera should correct? There should be many people who will be knowing it.
I don't know. Okay, I guess I can save the session locally too then. I just figured it would be faster for both of us if we just use the session existing.
Okay. Then let us ask the question to Krish, and if Krish responds, and if you say that yeah we can handle, then okay, otherwise we'll change it to the
Okay.
Or if still you want, then I can not an issue.
Alright, fine. I mean, for now, I'll just do it locally, and then we'll talk to the...
Okay.
So.
sure it doesn't make me think of one.
What is that?
397.
397. But I guess 380. Maybe trying to get into
Yeah. Seems okay. Go for 388.
Thank you. But I can do it.
Oh, yeah.
And LC card would be better. Straight set. I'll conflict on the app.
This is tough.
2 weeks. Yeah. We'll release the fix from bird fighting.
From back.
Was your camera three?
Not like
So this seems fine. Do you want me to use it tomorrow?
No, it's okay, I can use it.
Just make me an admin.
You're right.
There you go. Not this one.
Saturday was a day of rest. Then Sunday was baby shower and shopping for it. You?
No.
Get your new bike yet?
No. Yeah. I'm fine.
So,
No, I've had like 3 offers now. I didn't realize how long it took to get a title change completed. So I'm still waiting on the sending the new title with my name on it. I can't sell it without it.
yeah.
So I've had like 3 people make offers. So honestly, I could probably make some more money on it, but you know, like $750 profit is something to actually know that. And I can go back. Hindsight, I want a new one or